Hello, beautiful soul stars. Today we're going to talk about manifesting generators and what it means to be a manifesting generator. Some of the main things that we're going to go over are what are the 5 types in order for us to really kind of get a clearer understanding of how we're supposed to work together. And this will start to touch into why it's really important for us to know our type, because this allows us to understand better what our gift is to the world. We're going to talk a bit about your aura as a manifesting generator and how it functions. So, how you can utilize it in order to make decisions, how to have healthy relationships, and also how to help kind of inspire yourself, right? Because as a manifesting generator, there's going to be that energy of so many thoughts going through your mind that we're going to really talk about how to get things organized, how to get projects done, how to deal with all those brilliant, amazing thoughts that are moving through that incredibly fast paced mind of yours. And we're also going to really touch on the number one thing I like to tell manifesting generators is that you are not here to just pick one thing in this lifetime. So, my hope is that this will bring a bit of relief to the energy that you are feeling in your life so that you can learn to begin to manage it in a way that comes from a place of comfort of understanding it, and then be able to utilize it as your greatest gift of how you are here to actually create quite a magnificent reality for yourself in this lifetime. So let's go ahead and just touch on the 5 types. The 5 types are generators, manifesting generators, projectors, manifestors, and reflectors. And you can see that each of them has a percentage. Really, when we look at it through this pie graph, I like to put it in this format so that you can actually kind of see it almost maybe as the globe or the sphere of Mother Earth, because truly human design really helps us learn and understand in a better way how we're not here to just live an individualized life. We're actually here to be a great benefit to the human species. And that as a human species, we're truly meant to be evolving as a species. And that as we do this, that it really takes all of us working together. And so, how is it that when we live our life correctly, can we be the greatest gift to others by helping to inspire them? So, one of the things I want to definitely touch on in here is just noticing here there's generators and manifesting generators. And this is going to signify why your energy is so special in this lifetime. Because if you actually add these two up, generator types alone make up 70% of the population of humanity. 70% of humanity has a defined sacral center, which is that root center, that sacral area, like the second chakra, which is like the cauldron of fire, the place of creativity, passion, and desire, right? And so, truly, generators and manifesting generators' gift to the world is that passion, that fire, and desire, and the energy, that perpetual energy you have to actually bring these things into manifestation within this lifetime. So, as we look at this, we're going to see that all the types are supposed to work together. Many types will have a energy flow to them of a lot of energy. So like the generator types are here to promote a lot of energy. They're here to actually have the workforce and that passion behind their desires in order to actually get things done. Now, the interesting thing, and we will talk about this as a shadow, is that generators types, both of them, generators and manifesting generators, have kind of a shadow undercurrent signature based on our historical timelines and our Earth's history of many times feeling like the slave or the servant, or feeling as though they have to work, or feeling as though they just have to do all of these things. And so many times feeling kind of caught in a rut or stuck doing things that they don't really feel inspired or passionate to do. And the beautiful thing is that human design is really teaching us how to break out of that. It is time to break out of all old molds of how the earth has been and truly reinstate the new divine law of one way of acting upon the earth, which is in harmony with all, that everyone has a contribution to give to the world, but that it should come from your heart and your passion, and it should light you up and make you so happy to do exactly what it is that you're here to do. So when we realize this, Our special purpose is actually going to be signified many times through our incarnation cross on our chart. And our incarnation cross is coming from our sun and earth on our personality and design side. And this really shows us that each of us come here with a very special purpose. Now, the amazing thing is that each of us has this very unique and special purpose. But most of the times we don't know how to honor everybody's special purpose on the planet. And that's what we're learning how to do. We're learning that as we learn our aura and our design, then we know how to correctly interact with others. And then how to help others begin to act correctly within their own type strategy and inner authority. And as we get to do this, what we're doing is we're realizing that there's a lot of individuals on the planet that are here to help bring back the wisdom teachings of the ancient days of when we lived in harmony with the earth. Those are those left and right angle cross of Eden. We have individuals that are here to bring the clarion call, who are here to remind us of our spirit within. There are those that are here to be leaders, here to be healers, here to teach love. But I also want to remind there are individuals here on the planet that are here to shake things up, kind of make humanity a little bit uncomfortable, to really kind of shake humanity out of our comfort zone. Because we know without a doubt, if we get too comfortable, we'll just keep going with things and we won't really change anything. And so sometimes we need a little bit of agitation in order for us to begin to see something in a new way, so that we can begin to perpetuate that evolution throughout the species again, that we don't want to stay still and stagnant. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because manifesting generators by default are here to shake things up. Truly, manifesting generators are here to begin to change the world. The gift that you bring is your energy. And truly, as we get to just look at this very simple graph here, that you have energy. But remember, most of the times we've been functioning on this world by have-tos, by rules and dogmas that we don't always align to and we're not always comfortable with. And especially as a manifesting generator, you're kind of here to buck against and rebel against the system a little bit, because you're actually here to find what isn't working correctly and then be that inspiration for others in how to maybe tweak things a little bit, fix things a little bit, align things in a new way. So the important thing to really understand for both generator types is that you must love the work that you do. You have to love it so much that it really fits that saying that says, if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. That should truly be your motto in this lifetime. Your aura is all encompassing. It is like that perfect egg-shaped aura that goes around the body if you were to look at aura photography. And a manifesting generator and generator's aura is pure magnetic energy. It means that you literally have an ability to attract everything into your life like the law of attraction. So that means that your strategy is actually to let whatever it is that you are imagining, thinking about, reading, inspired by, excited with, thinking, all of these different things, let the universe feel that vibration. And then what the universe does is it then begins to bring all of that into your reality. And as the situations and the opportunities and the different invitations in your life start to come that says, hey, you know, you're getting invited to go do this. Oh, this new course popped up on your email. Oh, this new idea for maybe going on a trip with the family. All of these different invitations and things start to come into your reality as opportunities for you to either do or not do. Now, the truth is that most of the times we deal with things very logically, but generator types are meant to really feel through a response system in your body whether or not something is right for you. So as these opportunities, scenarios, and invitations come into your life, your job is to not really so much think about what it was that just got invited or brought into your reality, but actually immediately pay attention to your body and how did your body respond to that invite, to that email, to that phone call, to that invitation of whatever kind that you just got. How did your body respond when you heard it? Now, within this, it's really important to understand that manifesting generators, just as a default, really think they're manifestors. And manifestors get to actually just do it in life. They get to just think of something and go out there and make it happen. I will tell you, they are 9% of the population, and they are the only type that is meant to do that, which means that 91% of humanity, almost all of humanity, really, when you think about it, is meant to wait to some degree before they step into action with an idea of what it is that they want to do. So when we think about this, this is really important that even though you are a manifesting generator, there is attributes to the manifestor's type that you are here to actually embrace and make sure that you honor. But at the same time, it's really important to understand that you are a generator, which means no matter what, it goes back to that very same statement of your strategy is to respond. Your body is your absolute temple of wisdom, and it will allow you to understand always what is the correct action for you in the now. So within this, it's beautiful to also know that we have kind of like some trigger reactions, which means that if things are happening in your life and you start to experience what is referred to as your not self theme, which is frustration, but you also hold a bit of the manifesting not self theme, which is anger. So if you start to feel frustration or anger in your life, like you're hitting up against a wall where it's just really frustrating you, or you're feeling blocked or restricted, or you just want to break through, kind of like this phrase, truly a statement from a young manifesting generator is going to just be like, I can do it myself. I don't need your help. Don't tell me what to do. This kind of energy within there is definitely a major theme. But here's the flip side. If you are feeling satisfied, now let me really kind of add this. You might be super tired when you get done at the end of the day, when your batteries are just about low and you've just really spent all that you've had in your day. There should be satisfaction, almost kind of like an internal high five. Like, I can't believe everything I got done today. Whew, some of it was challenging. Woo, not all of it was super fun, but here's the thing to understand. Every single dream that we would want to create in this life is always going to have particles to it. They're kind of like the grueling particles, right? It's like, we might love being a chef and cooking masterpieces in the kitchen, and it might not be our favorite part to actually do the cleanup or wash the dishes, but it's part of it, right? So if we can have satisfaction and joy to all the particles that go into the process of creation, we'll realize that sure, there's going to be little aspects in every project that are kind of like our least favorite part of that project. But in the end, the overall project should be one that has given us, oh my gosh, so much love, so much satisfaction, and allowed us to feel as though we've truly been living our life purpose in this lifetime. And that sense again of like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do that again. Or again, here's the thing with manifesting generators, and we'll touch on this on one of the next slides, is that a lot of times, more so for a manifesting generator than a generator, once you've done something one time, sometimes you'll do it for a little bit, and then you might be like, okay, I've tried that in life and I'm good with that. And so there might come this feeling later of like, I was super satisfied when I did that project, but I feel really complete with it now, and I don't really feel inspired to have to do that anymore. It's very important to understand that. So within this, there is a beautiful kind of knowing that the main difference between manifesting generator and generators is manifesting generators are here to really kind of see what's not working as well as it could be. within our different societal structures in every field you can think of, be it academics, the medical world, maybe it's construction, maybe it's within how a city flow is and how streetlights work and all of these different things. There's manifesting generators all over the world that are intrigued and impassioned by their desire for all kinds of different things. And whatever field you're in that field, one of your greatest gifts to everyone else working there is that you're going to kind of see what's kind of, ooh, if we did it this way, it might work a little better. Oh, man, if we clean this up, or this just seems like it's wasting time, or, and as we see this, manifesting generators truly have a desire to kind of pull from all kinds of different interests and systems. And then from that level of creativity, really kind of use the imagination to kind of streamline and create new programs, new ways of doing things. They truly are kind of like the gift of the startup. Love to start up new projects. And many times can be a little too quick to jump into things. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit more. But primarily, as we get to see this, manifesting generators again are here to shake things up a little bit, not to necessarily do things like things have always been done, but to actually start to kind of get into things, be impassioned by things, and then already start imagining their own new way of how they would do it. So as we get to look at this, this is really about, again, helping humanity find the new ways. And primarily within this, we can see that many times humanity can get stuck doing things in arduous ways, slow ways, things that are very outdated many times. Many legal systems and governmental systems and school systems and all, the structures, many of the massive structures of which kind of formulate the way a society functions. It takes a lot of paperwork and work and thought form to kind of solidify them into those structures. And then a lot of times they'll get stuck in that way of thinking. And it requires new minds to come in that get kind of provoking enough, if you will, again, enough of a stir up of energy. Now, I say provoking, but let me reframe that a little bit, because it's not about agitating. Truly manifesting generators come in with a leadership quality. There's an energy to your aura that other people really resonate to, that want to look to you to be a leader. This isn't always something that you want to be, but you have that aura and that ability to you. So when you get into these types of places where you can start to see where you can make a difference, there is an energy to your aura where people will listen to you. And when you utilize that for the highest good of humanity, it starts to allow humanity to start to take in these new ways of doing things and begin to restructure some of the old, outdated things in order to help humanity advance in a better and more efficient, conscious way. So as we look at this, we're going to talk about how your unique design is actually creating energies inside of you that sometimes might feel a little bit frustrating. One of the primary things that a lot of manifesting generators might feel is this frustration to this energy of, I'm into so many things. What do I do with this energy that I have inside? Well, I like this, but then it's like, oh, that's right. I want to work on this project. And oh, I'm really passionate about this. And what about this time that I'm putting into this? And the truth is you are not here to do just one thing. Truly, you are designed to have many, many things that you are involved with simultaneously, almost to the point of overwhelm where you're not sure how you actually have the time for all of them. And we're going to talk about how you get to start to determine which ones you put or invest your time into and which ones might be your interests or your hobbies. So truly, manifesting generators do have lots of interests, lots of hobbies, lots of things about this life that really impassion you. I'm going to give you a little bit of a different perspective of this too. When we have an understanding of the idea of past lives, that we've been here before, that we've had maybe multiple incarnational cycles, manifesting generators tend to have an aura that remembers or has a familiarity to certain things. Or you might get really into something and there's just something that really pulls you to it. And then you'll get into it for a little bit and it'll feel a little bit frustrating because it will be like you don't have all the time you need to dive into it to get as masterful or detailed within it as you like. This might be a new course or a new thing that you want to study, a new degree that you want to do, a new place you want to take your business, or a new hobby that you want to get really delved into. And sometimes you'll be so called to it and so impassioned by it, but almost a little bit frustrated in that sense that it seems like you don't have the time or energy to dive into it, to understand it as much as you want to. Now, when you can begin to kind of feel this from a multiple lifetime cycle, a lot of times you'll be drawn to things that you've actually mastered or spent a significant amount of time doing in other lifetimes. And that's part of the reason why there's a similarity or a resonance to that within this lifetime. Within this, if you can begin to allow yourself to just let yourself get pulled to whatever you're interested in, there is something very special about manifesting generators in that you, in a lot of ways, do learn through osmosis. There is an absorption energy to your aura that when you contact a book, take an online course, maybe take a class with someone, maybe learn a new technique from someone teaching you hands-on, there is going to be a sense that it's almost as though, I get it. And this quickness within there that will want to just get on with it and take off running and do it. There is many times this energy that someone will start to teach you something and you truly are tapping into their aura and their knowledge and their database of how they're doing it, and possibly having a familiarity to have done it in another lifetime. Even if you've never done it in this lifetime, there just might be something that clicks that goes like, oh, this feels like I got it. And many times what'll happen is you'll just take off going on it. You'll want to just jump in and do it. But when this happens, it's almost as though you dive in too quickly without thinking it all the way through. So this is going to be kind of at the last one on this list of the need to learn to slow down before leaping into these projects. Because again, it's about this excitement to want to constantly dive into new projects, classes, ideas, etc., and just kind of go for it, right? Now, within this, when there's an understanding that you do learn quite a bit through osmosis, this is actually something you can use to your advantage. When you do take, say, a course or read a book, there is many times a tendency to even flip through the book backwards. I don't know why, but there's that flipping through the book backwards, kind of skimming through the energy of it, potentially having a stack of books that you're wanting to read simultaneously. And just having those in your environment is actually going to give you the ability to have that energy near you so that it's influencing your thoughts and the way that you are perceiving pretty much everything you're doing at the moment. Some other amazing things about manifesting generators, which is kind of in that context of you're here to kind of do things in a new way, is that there is a tendency to not like to be told what to do, especially as a child. It's kind of like this energy, I got this, I can do this myself, but within there, this is important to understand when agreeing to any jobs, and if you're going to job interviews, if you're creating a new business, if you are partnering with someone to do a project together or to start a business together, it's really important to pay attention to the amount of creative freedom that you will have within that job environment. And this is going to be something we'll dive into more in the video with inner authorities, because really understanding your yes and no's and how to decide what is correct for you, I'm going to dive into in depth in the video for your inner authority. But from just this manifesting generator aura, please understand there is a need for new in your life constantly. There's a need to kind of be on the cutting edge, to always kind of be stepping into new territory, cutting new paths, really being the one that is experimenting and checking things out and letting that creative mind get super indulged with the new ways to potentially dive into something and to recreate it in a new way. And so any job you take, there is going to be a need to make sure that if you are working for another person, is that person recognizing your gift and capability for being quite an amazing being for getting the tasks done? Because again, there is that great ability to actually do the same thing, but there is again much more productivity that comes out of a manifesting generator if it feels a little fresh, a little bit new, almost more like projects rather than it's the same job you go to all the time. It can be a job, but if that job has more of a project and getting through projects kind of feel to it, and your expertise is asked opinions about how you might see how these creative endeavors can be done, there is going to be a lot more joy and a lot more investment and a lot less of a desire within your heart to be seeking outside for something else, because there can be this tendency to get bored doing the same thing over and over again, or to feel as though you are trapped by a job if it feels as though you are just doing the same routine over and over again. There is just a natural impulse within that'll start to feel as though you are not living your highest purpose in this life. And this antsiness will start to kind of develop. It's to start to make your mind think about what else could I be doing? So within this, one thing I do want to say that is can sound frustrating, but honestly, it's a great gift when we hear it, is that you actually learn more from your mistakes than what you actually got right the first time you tried it. Because a lot of times, remember, there's a tendency to leap into things and to just go for it, kind of based on something. And within that, that is kind of riding the energy in the beginning through the aura of something. Whereas when you get to kind of dive into something and then say it doesn't work, maybe you've leapt in too fast and you have to deconstruct and then reconstruct, and maybe deconstruct again before you reconstruct again. Whatever it is, that project, whether it's a new recipe you're trying in the kitchen and you just decided you would wing it, or maybe you're building some shelves and you just decided, oh, I don't need to read all of the details of the instructions. And inevitably, it's just a thing that happens where there's just a step or two that gets missed that will be like this, oh, oops. And many times having to deconstruct or to rebuild something or start over. And when that happens, the most important thing to realize is that that's one of your learning designs. When you actually reverse engineer something, so build something forwards, then unbuild it, then rebuild it, then unbuild it, then rebuild it again. I know it sounds arduous and tiring, but really you get something that is just kind of referred to as knowing it inside and out. And once you have done that, that is going to be something inevitably you will be called to teach to others in some way. And therefore, you will have experienced every blunder or mistake or challenge another person might end up going through with that very same thing. And you will already have experienced it so that you can give them the heads up so they don't have to for themselves. So that is part of the gift of how you be that leader for others or help teach others. Truly, manifesting generators do amazing in managerial positions, ones again that have to have a creative freedom, advisory positions, coaching, counseling, all sorts of places where there's again a sense of being able to share the outcome of a better way of doing things, right? But that the details of how that outcome is brought forward is going to be implemented by someone else, right? So again, it's kind of like that ability to help problem solve and maybe be a little bit hands-on with the problem solving, but for the most part, passing that on as knowledge to another for them to be able to utilize that knowledge to figure things out in their world. Now, one thing I will say is that organization is key. Part of the design, again, is to help clean things up, streamline things, shortcuts, make things work a little faster, cleaner, more efficient. Efficient is definitely a word for a manifesting generator. Now, a manifesting generator that is not living their design is going to feel like their world is very chaotic, maybe disorganized, and maybe as though there's projects all over that they just can't seem to get a handle on. So organizing your life is key. to allowing yourself to master the energy of balancing massive amounts of energy in your body with massive amounts of ideas and thoughts within your mind. And it is truly the way that you experience things through your thoughts. So when you dive into a project and you do it, your mind is totally enveloped in the project as you do it, while your energy is the steamroller for that project. That is how you truly figure things out within this lifetime. Now, because you get so kind of focused in on certain things when you're doing things, and then in between projects, many times will feel scattered and all over the place. Like, I have 10 things to do. I don't know which one to do right now. How do I manage my time? There's two key things that I like to give as options or tools. And number one is going to be sticky notes or a whiteboard. Having something very visual in your life that you can jot down the day-to-day things or the current projects or the current ideas within your head. It's really important for you to get all the thoughts that are in your head out of your head and onto something visual out in front of you, so that as you walk by it and as you look at it, you have the ability to keep responding to how your body feels when you read it. So if you have a whole to-do list on there, you're going to actually viscerally feel from your body as your body responds to what everything you read on your list of to-dos. There's certain things that you're going to be like, "Ooh, I can't wait to do that. I'm very excited about that project." There's other projects you're going to maybe read on there and you're already going to feel tired or lethargic, or you're not inspired by it at all. And the thing to really start to witness is that those things on the list that start to feel as though they are draining your energy before you even do it, it is so important to start reframing why you're doing that project, why you think you have to do that project. And it might potentially be something you might want to just completely wipe off the board, because your body is already responding to you, telling you that it is not correct for you. However it is there, it needs to be really examined, because it might potentially be something that is not something that is correct for you to invest your energy into. Now, as we look at this, one of the main things I like to say is that because you have so many projects, interests, hobbies, things that are moving through your mind and your mental landscape, one of the key things that you can do is turn your home, your car, your office, your world into your living library. Like your own Akashic library is all around you. It is imperative that your home be organized and neat and in place, because when the clothes are out of order, when the dishes are all over the counters, when your desk is in disarray, when you're sitting there to do things, it wears on the way your mind focuses. And truly, it focuses so much better when everything is organized and in its place, because again, that's what your design is. You're here to help figure out how to organize things better so they flow better in this life. And if your own world isn't organized, you feel it as a bit of chaos and disorientation within yourself. So the number one thing to do is to start to organize your own environment. Turn your home into your living library. If you have 10 hobbies, have places where you showcase each of these things that bring you joy, happiness, and love in your life, so that those reflections within your home show you and hold the energy of that hobby or that interest that you have. So say you love guitar, but you barely ever get to pick up a guitar or play the instrument, or maybe play piano or something. But if you have it in a very prominent place where it's showcased, where it's holding the energy in your home for that aspect of you that loves that very thing, it is actually fortifying your field and helping you to keep your mind in a state of organization. So the key thing to do is to kind of see your home, your office, your car, wherever your sacred places are, your workshop, whatever it is, and to organize it kind of like your sacred sanctuary, where everything has a place and everything has a meaning, and each thing in its place is actually giving you the ability to calm that energy of your mind that says, well, I might not be able to do it today, but It brings me joy and happiness to see it right there in the corner. It brings joy and happiness just to know that the painting easel is over here, or the bike is over here. Whatever it is that you have, if it's all in its place, it's holding that template of energy for you, and it's creating a sense that all of it is actually you and something that is part of your life. And it's okay if you're only going to touch it even maybe 3 times a year. It doesn't matter, because it's something that means something to you. So it's important for it to be within your energy or your space. Now, there are a lot of manifesting generators that might like a really clean or decluttered space. So to not, and that the way that that organization might be through having journals and specific libraries, or just having your computer. If you travel a lot, that will be something that many will be drawn to do, is to maybe be quite mobile and travel a lot and not have a set physical place. But make sure that your computer or your laptop or whatever it is that's kind of holding a lot of your interests is still within an organizational way that you can sift through it quickly, so that you can remember all the things that you are kind of holding space for, that are actually also holding space for you. And then again, utilizing something that is tangible outside of you, like a dry erase board or sticky notes, gives you the opportunity to see it out in front of you so your body can respond to it. And then as these projects get complete, you can wipe it off the board, and there's a sense of satisfaction. Remember, that's your theme, satisfaction for having completed that task. And also that quickening of energy as you realize something new is just going to take its place. So the key to really beginning to learn to manage all of this energy is, one, to realize you're never going to get everything done that you've ever started in this life. You may own 100 books and you may only read all the way through maybe 10 of them, and maybe 80% through on, half of them. But there's going to be a lot of books that maybe you just really resonate with, but have never sat and read it from cover to cover. But just the fact that its energy is on your bookshelf is all you need. And when you can start to just settle into that and be okay with that, that it's okay if you get into a hobby and you buy everything and you decide, yeah, well, that's as far as I went. But that little station's there that you could again, right? Again, it's just sometimes things are worth it just to have it in your energy field. You might take up and do courses your whole life. Awesome. You might not get all the way through to maybe following through with that particular practice. You're not designed to do that. You're designed to actually learn from many, 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 many modalities. And then you create your own. You find your own unique way to blend whatever you're interested in together, so that it is your unique expression to the world, as something that the world can use as a new way of looking at things. So I hope that helps a little bit with starting to manage that. Now let's look at how we just kind of work with the energy that's moving through. The truth is that your body requires physical and mental activity. And what this means is that there is going to be a need for your mind to be stimulated. You need to be doing things that really inspire you, kind of push you to the edge, allow you to dive into deeper research and learning and all of these different things. But if you sit at your computer all day long, just diving into research and getting into things and working on things, you are not going to be expending the physical energy in your body enough. And what will happen is you will feel mentally tired, but then your body will start to feel a bit lethargic. And there will be a tendency for frustration or depression or even sadness to start settling in. Why? Well, because you're storing a bunch of the energy within the cells in your tissues. Your cells are not getting the opportunity to burn out the physical energy within your body through your metabolism and allowing that energy to move right through. So it's important that every single day, even if it's a bike ride, going for a walk, taking your puppy for a walk around the block, it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be like some massive workout project or anything like that. but it does require to do physical things, and that physical thing might be putting on some music and vacuuming and cleaning your house and organizing your physical space, doing some yard work. There's a lot of ways that it could be functional physical activity that still is maybe listening to podcasts or listening to a workshop or listening to something that you're maybe learning from, or maybe just checking out for a moment with some of your favorite music in order to move your body. Just know that you are designed to multitask. So it's kind of a dual thing. You, in some ways, want to find ways to blend your physical and your mental activity and allow that to be the way to make sure you use up all of your energy every day before you go to bed so that you can actually sleep a lot deeper. Sleep is actually quite vital because it is the way that you recharge your generator motor. And if you are not getting enough sleep, so say you're burning yourself out, or you're having to get up too many times in the middle of the night, or you're going to sleep late but getting up too early, and not getting enough sleep, it will have the tendency to potentially make your body seek other ways to get energy into your body. It might be anything from finding outside stimulation like caffeine or sugars or food or something to try to refuel the body if you're not naturally refueling the body by letting your generator recharge when you sleep at night. So sleep is probably one of the most important things. And one of the most important things I see for generator types in general, that if they get depleted, there is a tendency to start to take on other habits to try to get refueling of energy in our life. And then later we're like, I just don't know what's going on. I need help. And so within this, we can also look at the thyroid. So when we think of the thyroid and this beautiful master gland that really regulates the metabolism, it's truly vulnerable for both generator types, but specifically the manifesting generator, because it has to do with the throat center, which is activated. And it's really cared for when we learn to say our correct yes and no's within our life. It's important that if you feel yourself doing things that, again, do not bring you joy and vitality, working with people that you don't feel like you can speak your true voice or that you're not heard, finding yourself either stifling your voice or overexerting your voice with others, you will find that many times the thyroid or the metabolism will start to get thrown off. And that could go back to even the last thing we were talking about, which is sometimes from there throwing off even the way our body processes sugars or digests things. And it can be a little bit of a ripple effect within there. And isn't that like wild if you think about it? Because it's truly just realizing how potent and powerful it is to honor your throat chakra, honor your voice, honor like making sure that when you speak, you are speaking words that feel valued and that feel received and heard, and that you are allowing yourself to honor the integrity of what's right for you. That if your body is responding and saying, no, I just don't feel comfortable doing that. But if your throat chakra doesn't feel comfortable saying, no, I'm not going to go, but thank you for the invitation. And instead you find your throat chakra saying, oh yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll help you with that. Even feel the tightening in there, and the voice might change. And again, it's going to directly start to affect, not immediately, but over time we just start to see it and go like, why am I tired? Why can't I seem to recharge? Why does it feel like my life isn't as fulfilled as I want it to be? Why do I keep reaching for food that I don't really want to eat? Why am I trying to check out? And a lot of times this just comes back to this very base thing right here, which we don't realize is just that we haven't been completely validating us living our life by speaking our truth. So within this, manifesting generators also need to inform others of what they're doing, just like a manifester. There's a tendency to be so in your mind into what you're doing that many times you'll just be off and doing it, and you won't inform your others around you of what you're doing. And so they're left clueless and in the dark as to where you are or what you're doing. And again, there's a part of you that's like, well, I can do whatever I want. I was just doing this, or I was just doing this. And it's important to realize, again, remember, we're not an island unto ourselves. We are here to be a gift to humanity and the evolution of the human species, which means that many times the most challenging thing for all types is to actually start to really embrace healthy empathy. How are all of our actions truly being received by others? And so that when we start to remember that our actions are truly not just for us to bumble our way through life and feel satisfied within our own life, but truly, how can you increase love, joy, happiness, and vitality in the lives of with others as you be the living example of how to use your voice and your energy correctly within this life? So if you are getting frustrated, it's a signal that you're not responding to things the correct way. That's important. If you start getting frustrated or angry, and you find that to be a regular theme in your life, it's important to remember to stop and start asking, where am I trying to force my life to happen? And where am I not just responding to things in a correct way? Another thing that will bring you a lot of relief in your life is if you could just get it right now that not everyone thinks as fast as you. Bottom line, there's just a lot of times that frustration comes from feeling frustrated that other people don't understand what you're trying to share to them. And what it means is that you are trying to make them you, but they can't. You're the manifesting generator. That's your gift. Part of being responsible with that gift is actually learning that how your mind processes, great, that's for you. But then we need to step back and listen from the heart and really listen to others around. And are they someone we're even supposed to be trying to share the information with, right? Is that like, are you trying to get them to understand something that isn't even yours to share with them, isn't even something they're asking for? They're not even looking for the solution, right? So then that's going to perpetuate frustration because you are not acting with your correct inner authority at that time. You are trying to exert your energy somewhere where it is not being welcomed or received. And this is where we start to learn right use of our energy. And then we also get to understand sometimes if we are not communicating correctly, sometimes it's not that they're just not fast. Sometimes it's just that we need to learn to actually tune into their wavelengths, right? Communicating so that they can begin to understand exactly what you are sharing. So this way, when you learn your own ways that make you happy and the things that inspire you to use up your energy, let those, like, really find the hobbies, the things that you love, find those physical and mental activities that maybe you can blend together that bring you great joy, that use up your energy cleanly in the right way. Start to learn your own things that make you happy. It's really important that you just start to think of like, oh, well, when I do this, it's super fun. I get a great workout, but it doesn't feel like it because I'm having so much fun and it feels as though I can't wait to do it again. You want to fill your life up with things like that. It's okay to not, again, finish everything you start. And mantra, you do not have the energy to do everything that you think that you can do. You can only do what your spirit is inspired to do. Remember, your mind will get so excited about so many things and think you can do all of it. Oh, I can take care of this. Oh, I can take care of this. And the crazy thing is, as manifesting generators, many times will have so many things you've started that it feels impossible to figure out how to train another person or teach another person to do what you're doing. And it feels easier to just do it yourself rather than try to explain what you're doing to another person so that they can do it, because somewhere in the back of your head, you're like, well, they'll never do it as good as I could do it anyways. And the thing is that that's not the point. We want to learn how to be that inspiration, whatever type we are, it doesn't matter. We're here to work together. And so it's really kind of that place where we, in these mind frames, it's maybe like, I can do it on my own. I don't need help. And let's remember what it was like when we were, say, a toddler and we were trying to do something and someone was trying to help us and we were just like, no, I got it. I can do it myself. Whereas, yeah, we got that. We can. But the point is that we're starting to learn as a human species that when we actually help each other, life gets easier. Life gets fun. Life actually can become seamless and easy and joyful and abundant. And so, great, we can be stubborn and struggle all we want in this life. Great, we got it. But wouldn't it be amazing if we could start to figure out how to like let things just flow with the greatest of ease, and what it would be like to actually like share all of these different things with each other, so it's just not one person doing everything. And that's kind of the joy within there. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is I want to actually talk about correct use of energy. And this is going to be the last thing on this one. And the correct use of energy is realizing that your gift to this world is spirit flowing through you. And so when you allow the spirit to flow through you with joy and happiness and love, it is as though you are flowing living light energy from you, and it pours into every project that you do, every conversation that you have, every lecture that you might speak. Every single thing you do is going to be filled with that expression of joy and happiness and love. That, remember, that sacral energy of that cauldron of passion, fire, and desire. But if you are doing things because you feel you have to, or you're resentful, or you are still in relationships with either family, co-workers, partners, anyone, that is an imbalanced relationship dynamic, meaning there's expectations, there's codependency, maybe narcissistic types of tendencies, maybe the senses of feeling obligated, or expectation on the other side of, well, that's your job, you just have to do it. I don't care if you don't like it. That's your job. Or I don't care if you don't like it. You're the daughter, you're the son, you have to. That's your role in the family. There's a lot of ways that obligations and the sense of have to gets put onto us. And then we all kind of are familiar with the terms of dealing with someone who is vampiric or parasitic, where it feels like they're just sucking or feeding off of our energy. Now, we can see that from the perspective of being a victim. But the truth is that when you start to learn your discernment of what is your type, what is your aura, how are you supposed to respond to things? Your job, remember, is to actually start to respond to things and listen to what your body says. And this is what we're going to dive into deeply with how to make decisions with your inner authority. I'm going to make more of a conversation on this through these videos, specifically based on each person's inner authority, because it's very, very specific how we're all individually now receiving this information. So manifesting generators are going to have one of two types of a response, and that is either going to be the emotional solar plexus type of manifesting generator, or a sacral manifesting generator. And so we'll dive into that in the next video, because the one thing I want to say is that when you invest your energy in anything, if you are feeling frustrated, angry, or depleted in any way, you are contributing to what is referred to as dead light energy or parasitic energy on the planet. It means that that beautiful, sacred, living life energy that is flowing through you is not being honored wherever you're investing it or letting it flow out to. So if you're going to that family outing and it's obligation and you're not happy about it, you are pouring your loving energy out into a field that is now dead. It doesn't have anywhere else to go. It is not being received with gratitude, love. It is not having any place to flow through whatever it is that you are doing with more joy, happiness, and love in order for it to perpetuate and continue on. And so this is what we're going to talk about more in the next video. And just to know that as you explore your own energy and your design, dive in to the deepest places within that start to really be mindful and pay attention to the nuances, those tiny little subtle feelings that you have within your body, because your body truly is your inner wisdom, your temple of wisdom that has all the yes and no's right there available for you. There is nothing you need to seek outside of yourself. You truly are holding all that you seek right inside of you. Thank you so much.